So I've been sleeping a lot more than usual recently, and I don't know why exactly, but when this happens, I tend to dream a lot. Some weird dreams, some like dreams about my fears, some just like completely random dreams. Yeah. But I guess the biggest thing that stuck out to me in these last few days is that I tend to dream about me being manic or things that make me think of being manic. And they're kind of really, I would say, almost like bad dreams, like almost a nightmare, I would say. And this, I feel like, we all think that dreams kind of have insight to like what you're thinking or like your deepest fears and your nightmares and all that. So I'm starting to think that having a manic episode is one of my deepest fears if I'm having those types of topics in my nightmares. And it's just like, bro, that is crazy. Like, one of my biggest fears is just like something that can happen to me like that. And like, a lot of times, I think when I get manic, a lot of problems I have is with like electronics and weird things happening on them, and then me reading too deep into it, or like things that shouldn't be happening. And a lot of times in these dreams, there are like random things happening around me that don't make sense. Or on my phone, there's like things happening that I'm not doing, and I'm just like, what is going on? And I feel like well, I've always had dreams about being manic, but I feel like they've evolved over time. Like, I think that the first few times I had bad manic episodes besides middle school was like after I graduated high school, and I would have dreams about me like running around like a library or something, and like messing with like things that I should leave alone basically. And those were the dreams I had before, and now I feel like electronics are a lot more involved in this. But in general, it's kind of weird to think that having a manic episode is one of my biggest fears to the point where I have nightmares about it. Um, And so I guess this video is going to be generally about my biggest fears as someone with bipolar disorder. Um, Alongside having a manic episode, I feel like I also fear being alone or like not having anyone there to help me out and nudge me back towards sanity when I get a little bit, you know, crazy, I guess. With mania. Like, definitely without anybody there when things get really bad and out of control, I think that it would be really hard for me to come back. Um, but I always hope that for the most part I can manage things on my own and not have them get to that point, because usually if I like manage my sleep pretty well, get enough sleep, um, or at least stick on a schedule, and then not like do too many things at once, I can usually keep my moods pretty like relatively stable. Um, but like things can get pretty out of hand if I let them slide too quickly without like getting help. So that can happen, and honestly, not having anyone around for me to even go to for help, including like a doctor and like my family or friends or like my partner. I think all those things I feel like I would need at least a couple of them around. So at a time to make sure that everything kind of stays where it's supposed to be for my moods anyway. But I feel like that those are the two biggest things. I think I also fear what other people fear. Like, I used to say that I didn't really fear like dying because I was like, it's sad to say, but I was like, there's nothing super exciting about life, so dying wouldn't be that bad. But I feel like I'm kind of terrified of finding out what happens after, and also what happens right when you die. Like, does it hurt a lot or whatever? And also, I feel like now I am at a better frame of mind where I don't think that life is like all too terrible. I think there are things that I need to work through and to get, to where I want to be. But once I get to that point, I think things will be a lot better and that I won't have the same kind of feeling of general life misery or like pointlessness, I guess. So yeah, there's that. Also, I fear like not being proud of what I did in life, or also dying with regrets, because I feel like the worst thing would be like getting old and wishing you had done something more with your life, or like done something different and gone for something that you had pushed away before. Because I feel like a lot of people are really unhappy in their later lives as their health declines, and I've noticed working at the nursing home that people just tend to complain about like every little thing sometimes. And so I feel like maybe it's because they just like are unhappy with their situation, and maybe also thinking back on other things in life, like they're not content with what they've done, sort of thing. I don't know. I can't really say for sure because I'm just speculating at this point, but I think in general I don't want to get to that point later in life where I'm just grumpy all the time and I don't feel happy about the way my life turned out, I guess. So there's that too. Um But I think going back to what I initially mentioned, having manic episodes are like super scary in that it disrupts my life. Like if I'm in school, I can't study as well. I can hardly like do the things I need to do, and I'm just thinking about that in terms of work. Like if I have a job and I just land a job and then I have a manic episode and I can't like work, and then they see that and then they're just like they let me go, because I mean that's what happens if you don't do work the way they want you to. So I'm kind of nervous about that a little bit, and so that's why I guess these manic episodes appear in my dreams all the time, or nightmares, should I say, is because I actually do really fear that, and I I really don't want it to happen. And I feel like countless times throughout my life when manic episodes happen, it just tears my life apart and I have to put the pieces back together even after I become stable. And there's even parts where I lose friends. I like just lose touch with people because I said weird things to them while I was manic. And also just things I do when I'm manic leaves a weird like reputation. I don't know what the right word is, but it's like it leaves a weird impression of myself on other people, especially if they don't know me that well. So like that time, for example, this is just one thing, but like this time I did ballet when I was manic, and I was 21 at the time, and it seemed like all these people in this ballet or dance academy basically were like not graduated high school yet. And I kind of just came in and I was like, I want to sign up for this. And usually you don't sign up like later than the sign up period. But I just was like, I want to do this, I'm going to do this. And I kind of forced myself in there. And then, like, I'm pretty sure that left a really bad, like, impression of myself, where like my reputation there is probably like pretty bad. They're like, probably would remember me if I went back and they were like, oh, this girl again or something. Because I like messed with a lot of things. I feel like I didn't really know a lot of what, like, I hadn't done ballet in years and I just wanted to do it. And then like I think the 2 classes that I were in, she had to adjust for me and do like less complex things because I didn't know what I was doing. So yeah. And I think the whole class suffered for it. But that's just one terrible thing that happened that I feel like is really hard for me to get over. Um, there's also that whole other story where I tore my ACL right before the recital, and I had a solo in one of the lower classes because I was like the tallest one, and she was like, what do I even do with this? Anyway, that's just one thing that I don't like thinking about very much because it's embarrassing and I don't like thinking about it. But that's just one of those things that when I get manic, I do things that I wouldn't normally do, and then I have to live with the consequences. So yeah. um to conclude this video, I guess it's just, I really fear manic episodes, and I feel like I need to figure out how to manage it a little better so that I'm not this fearful of them. But yeah, I will get back to you on like everything that goes on in my head about these manic episode things. But yeah, I will see you guys all next time. And of course, if you watch all the way to the end, please like, subscribe, and comment if you feel you have anything to say or share with me. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.